Hello everyone. Today, we'll be seeing how fast Clefairy can beat Pokemon Yellow in a solo run challenge. Let's get straight into the video. Yeah, I don't know why I decided to do a first stage Pokemon in Pokemon Yellow, but I figured it'd be a pretty interesting change of pace compared to doing something really good like Clefable. But let's see if the stats are any good, but knowing it's a first stage, probably not. We have 70 HP, 45 attack, 48 defense, 60 special, and 35 speed. We are in the fast level up group too, so by the time we get to the mid and the late game, we'll be leveling up very fast. And despite what you may think, funnily enough, until level 30, medium slow is actually faster than the fast group, but in the end of it, the fast group is overall better. Plus, having 60 special is actually pretty decent since a lot of our good moves are going to be special, but 35 speed is not good. That is very slow. And something else that isn't good is we only start with Growl and Pound, and then we get Sing at level 13, and then Double Slap at 18, followed by Minimize, Metronome, Defense Curl, and Light Screen. And also, since we get Minimized by level up, I do allow this move. I just don't allow the TM for Double Team, just because otherwise, every Pokemon would have access to such a broken move. So it'll be nice to use that in this run. And while our level up moveset is very small and restrictive, look at our TM moveset. We effectively get everything you can think of. All the water moves, the ice moves, solar beam, the electric moves, the move psychic, fire blast. We get basically every special move that we can get. We can definitely use all of these, and it's a good thing too, because since our special is higher than our attack, we're definitely going to want to use only special moves. I can probably predict my final moveset's probably going to be like Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, Minimize, and probably Body Slam for stab coverage, but still you can't resist the power of a same type attack bonus. However though, just because we get a lot of special moves does not mean we're going to have access to them right away. Because you gotta remember, the very first gym leader is Brock, and even though this is yellow version where, unlike red and blue, his Geodude and Onix are 2 levels lower, he is still gonna be quite bad using only Pound and Growl. Honestly, I think the best plan is to just grind until level 13 where we can get access to Sing. Potentially we might need Double Slap too, just because even if each Double Slap only does 1 hit point of damage, if we can hit 5 times, that's 5 damage, compared to Pound maybe doing 1. I make my way to the end of the Viridian Forest, defeat the mandatory bug catcher, and then I heal at the center and deposit the Pidgey I caught in the forest for Fly. And now my plan is to try and do blackout training on the Light Years Junior trainer, because I can consistently 3-shot the Diglett, and then I can have the Sandshrew knock me out. And then I can black out and then keep all the experience from defeating the Diglett. There are some pros and cons of doing the Light Years blackout training in yellow compared to red and blue. In yellow version, the Sandshrew does not have sand attack, so it's not going to be able to just stall by refusing to attack you. But the main disadvantage is they are lower leveled since Brock is a lower level, and they don't give as much XP, unlike red and blue. I continue the blackout training until I get level 12 because it's getting to the point where the Sandshrew is taking far too long to knock me out. So with the blackout training all finished, I now have to go back to the forest and fight all of the bug catchers that I skipped. What I did was I essentially just went to the end of the forest as soon as possible, blackout trained until I couldn't anymore, and now I can go back and fight the bug catchers because now that I'm a higher level, they're going to be a lot easier to take on. Because here's the thing, if I had fought the bug catchers earlier, I would not have been able to blackout train as long on the junior trainer, and I would have to resort to more wild Pokemon grinding. And with all the trainers in the forest defeated, I'm still only level 14. I want to get level 18 for Double Slap, but I may consider trying Brock earlier, because at least I have Sing now. But honestly, since I got level 15, let's go see how bad Brock is. He leads off with a level 10 Geodude, and since the Geodude is 2 levels lower compared to red and blue, it does not have Defense Curl. It's a good thing because my Pounds are going to do consistent damage, but there's never going to be a turn where the Geodude just does nothing. But on the bright side, I'm able to take out the Geodude quite easily. And now the plan for the Onix, which does outspeed, I'm going to spam Growl on it until it uses Bide, and then I can put it to sleep. Because here's the thing, if you put the Onix to sleep during Bide, Brock will not use a full heal until the Bide wears off. So putting it to sleep during Bide is the best thing you can do. And once I eventually get the Onix to -6 attack, which puts it at an attack stat of 4, I can now just slowly chip it down with growls and sings and pounds until I eventually defeat it. And I actually do on the very first try. So yeah, I guess I thought I needed double slap, but I really did not. Honestly, if this was red and blue, it would have 100% needed double slap just because the Geodude has defense curl. And it's going to get down to like 1 damage per pound. So double slap would definitely be better to avoid running out of moves. Fortunately, I don't have any major catastrophes on the Route 3 trainers, and then inside of Mount Moon, I can go ahead and get access to my first special move, Water Gun. I'm going to use this to knock out any wild Geodude I happen to come across, plus I can fight a few good trainers in here, such as the Super Nerd with the Magnemite and the Voltorb. This guy gives really good XP. Each of his Pokemon give over 200. And then I can go ahead and get the TM for Mega Punch, which is going to be a far superior upgrade compared to Pound. And then with Water Gun, I can go ahead and take out the Hiker in here as well. And then I can make my way straight to the end. In Yellow version, you don't have to fight the Rocket Grunt with Rattata and Zubat. You just skip straight to the Super Nerd, and then you have to fight Jesse and James. Fortunately, neither one of them provide any problems. And as soon as we get to Cerulean City, we gotta ask ourselves the age-old question. Should we fight Misty or Rival 2 first? Bubble Beam would definitely be very useful for Nugget Bridge, but I do not see a world where Clefairy can beat Misty right now, especially since I can't even outspeed the Staryu, which has 38 speed. So I think the Rival 2 fight here is the best way to go. He leads off with Spearow, which thankfully is a downgrade compared to Pidgeotto, because Pidgeotto in Red and Blue is straight up terrifying. Then on the Sandshrew, I misclick and go for Mega Punch instead of Water Gun, but fortunately he did not use Sand Attack, and then I can one-shot the Rattata, and then two-shot the Eevee with Mega Punch. I'm telling you, I do not one-shot Eevee that often. That thing has decent defenses. And now, in the wisdom of Gym Leader Matt, the Nugget Bridge has the highest cluster of mandatory trainers in the entire game. And I would prefer Bubble Beam to speed up parts of this route, but Mega Punch and Water Gun will do just fine. And then as soon as I defeat the Nugget Rocket Grunt, I can talk to this guy and get a Charmander for Cut and Dig so I don't have to catch a Paris. And the Pidgey I caught earlier is for Fly. So then later I can get either a Squirtle or a Lapras for Surf and Strength. I know a lot of people would get the Squirtle, but here's the thing though, I actually prefer getting the Lapras because you get it a lot later, and if you have an extra Pokemon in your menu, you technically have to do more inputs whenever you want to use Cut or Dig on the Charmander. So I honestly prefer getting the Lapras, but if you're running a Pokemon that wants to be Blaine before Rival 5, then you want the Squirtle. Otherwise, just get the Lapras. Anyway, with Nugget Bridge done, and the gym trainer in Misty's gym defeated, I get level 25, and now we can take on Misty. She leads off with Staryu, and even though I don't outspeed it, I now have Minimize on my moveset, so I go ahead and set up some on the Staryu. I do get below half health, but fortunately, there's not really anything the Starmie can do. And now with Misty defeated, I get the TM for Bubble Beam. This is going to be a very nice move to have for the mid-game. And now with Misty defeated, we can head down to Vermilion City and board the SS Anne. The first thing I decided to do is go into the basement and get the TM for Rest. I believe Rest is going to have a mandatory use later, but I think I pretty much just got it just in case of an emergency because Rest is a lot more useful in the yellow Elite Four compared to the red and blue one, because the yellow Elite Four tends to be tougher. And then I can go ahead and get one of the best moves in the game, Body Slam. I can replace Mega Punch with it, and then I can replace Water Gun with Bubble Beam. Plus, I can also get the rare candy on the ship. I'm not so sure if this was necessary, but it's a very quick rare candy, I may as well get it. And plus, unlike Rival 3 in Red and Blue, the Rival 3 fight in Yellow version has no fully evolved Pokemon, His team is still the exact same as Nugget Bridge, except he swapped his Rattata and Sandshrew. Honestly, the rival fight in yellow is straight up pathetic. I've had more problems against the rival 3 fight in red and blue because he'll have Pidgeotto, Raticate, Kadabra, and a middle stage starter, which is a lot tougher to deal with. But I can definitely tell you, Lieutenant Serge is generally far harder in yellow version. Even though he has only a single Raichu, it is level 28, and I only have 39 speed, and that thing has 65. So there is no way I'm going to outspeed it, but honestly, with Minimize and Sing, hopefully we can first try him. Let's do this. Lieutenant Serge leads off with Raichu. It goes ahead and uses a turn 1 X speed, and then my first Body Slam actually paralyzed it, which caused me to outspeed it even with the X speed, and all it went for was Growl, and I defeated in 3 hits. Okay, that was just bad for Serge. That could have been a lot worse. Then I can go into the fan club, get the bike voucher, and since in red and blue you cannot escape rope or dig out of either Bill's house or the fan club, I have to walk all the way to Diglett's cave to dig back. And once I do, I can go ahead and replace the move Sing with Thunderbolt. This is effectively close to my final moveset, although I probably will replace Bubble Beam with Ice Beam later. And now, we need to do the Route 9 Rock Tunnel Gauntlet of Trainers. None of the trainers here provide any problems for me, and then we can go ahead and fade straight to Celadon City. The first thing I do here is heal at the center to set my dig point, and then I can take the elevator to the top floor and buy the TM for Ice Beam from the girl up here. And then on the 4th floor, I'm going to get myself 2 Pokédolls because I do plan to get Mimic as well. And then on the 2nd floor, I go ahead and buy my Super Repels and some Super Potions if I need any. And I don't end up buying any vitamins. Honestly, funnily enough, Clefairy really doesn't need vitamins. I mean, the move Minimize, which I can use for badge boosts as well, is just going to carry me throughout the late game, so I honestly don't really think it was necessary. And now, before I go to Pokemon Tower, I need to get another move. I go ahead and take a fresh water that I bought, get to Saffron, and get the TM for Psychic. If I don't get the TM for Psychic now, none of the Ghastlies in Pokemon Tower are going to be one-shots, and that allows them to do all sorts of scary stuff, such as Confuse Ray or spamming Nightshade. And now, I have Body Slam, Thunderbolt, and Psychic as damaging moves, and with these 3 moves in Unisync, I can go ahead and completely obliterate the rival in Pokemon Tower, which is definitely a downgrade compared to Red and Blue, because in my Red and Blue runs, he has a Gyarados in this fight, and Gyarados is absolutely terrifying. But then again, they did change Gyarados' level up set in Yellow, so even if the rival here had it, it would probably only know Tackle and Thrash. So yeah, not really the best. Then at the very top of Pokemon Tower, I can get rid of the Marowak, defeat Jesse and James, and rescue Mr. Fuji and get the Pokeflute. So now with the Pokeflute, the world is my cloister. I can pretty much go anywhere. I could go on Cycling Road, go to the Safari Zone, I could go do Silph Co, or just fight Erika or Koga. I decide first things first to go to Cycling Road. I want to fight a few of the trainers here, and with access to Psychic, it's going to make the training quite nice. Although on the one wheezing biker, I end up getting a crit sludge and I get poisoned, and I come so close to dying, so I actually had to fly back and heal again. So yeah, that's annoying. I fight a few more of the bikers that have some mid or fully evolved Pokemon, such as Weezings and Mucks and Machokes and Primapes, and then I can go ahead and enter Fuchsia City. And also, while doing the biker training via level up, I get the opportunity to learn Defense Curl, and I say no. If I banned all evasion moves until level 100, not just the TM for Double Team, Defense Curl would actually be my badge boosting move. But that's fine though, Minimize will do just fine. And then I can clear out the Safari Zone and get the HM for Surf. One thing that annoys me is in Yellow version, they upped the levels in the Safari Zone here. So if I'm too low of a level, depending on my growth rate, I can still get encounters in here. But fortunately, I'm in the fast level up group, and since I'm past level 30, it is definitely going to avoid all the encounters. And then with the Safari Zone cleared out, the first thing I do is actually go into Erika's gym. I fight a bunch of the cool trainers on the right hand side of Erika, just because I need more training for the late game, and these trainers aren't the best for XP, but they're still decent. Plus Psychic is going to one-shot them all anyway. So now, with 2 trainers defeated, I can go ahead and take on Erika as the actual 4th gym leader. She leads off with her Tangela. I start ahead by using 1 minimize, and Constrict does lower my speed by 1. It does give me another patch boost at least, but still not preferable. Fortunately, the Weepin' Bell missed Razor Leaf, but it does hit me with Acid for not doing much. And then the Gloom is a one-shot with Psychic. Yeah, that fight could have gone sour. But hey, I still won, didn't I? And now I can either do Koga or Silph. Koga is straight up terrifying in yellow version because his levels are so much higher, plus all of his Pokemon have the move Psychic, and his Venomoth has Double Team. So yeah, I think it'd be a better idea to do Silph first. Plus, with the fast level up group, if I only fight the good trainers in Silph, which is roughly half the trainers here, by the time I finish all the training, I get to level 47. So yeah, I feel quite ready to go take on the rival here. I don't know if the rival is as good here as he is in Red and Blue, but he still is challenging, because he does lead off with Sand Slash. If you're wondering why I don't have Ice Beam taught yet, it's because I want to hold on to Psychic. But fortunately, I can just use a couple of Psychics to knock out the Sand Slash after a couple of minimizes. And here's the thing, I never beat Blaine yet because I can't use Surf, so every time I'm using Minimize, the only badge boosts I'm getting are attack and defense. But that's fine though. Evasion is one hell of a drug, and then I can first try his entire team. And with the rival defeated, I can talk to this guy right here and get myself a Lapras, defeat Jesse and James, and Giovanni. Alright, now we can do either Koga or Sabrina. And I decide that now is probably a better time than never to go ahead and take on the 5th gym leader, Koga. You know what's funny? I'm actually fighting all the gyms in order today. Not often that happens. Koga leads off with his first Venonat. It's a one-shot with Psychic thanks to a crit. The second one is a one-shot without a crit. And the third one's a one-shot without a crit. Then the Venomoth just lands Toxic followed by Leech Life, and I'm able to two-shot it very easily. I was always able to outspeed the 3 Venonats, but the Venomoth is always the scary one, although the Venonats could use Sleep Powder. And now with Koga defeated, I get a 12.5% boost to my speed stat, which is definitely going to come in handy. Plus I can teach Strength and Surf to the Lapras here, and I can go ahead and get another rare candy. Plus I can use the Lapras to surf down to Cinnabar Island. And while I'm surfing down there, I go ahead and fight Fisherman Psych, named after Ike the Killer. This guy gives 3 Sea King and 1 Goldine's worth of XP. This guy gives roughly over 4,000 experience points. Or actually not over 4,000, it's like a little bit under that. It's still a lot of XP though, plus all of his Pokemon are one-shots. Then I can go through the mansion, and here's another thing about Yellow. Remember how I said the Safari Zone had higher levels on the encounter table? So does the basement floor of the mansion. There is a 1% chance to encounter a level 46 Raticate, and usually most Pokemon, even in the medium slow group, can't avoid it. But with the fast group, Clefairy is able to avoid the encounters here. If you want to know how rare they are, throughout the 1 week I've been doing Yellow Mew runs for Scott's Thoughts Mew race, I've never encountered the level 46 Raticate, but yeah, it just shows you how rare it is. Then, inside Blaine's gym, I solve all the questions correctly, and now we can go ahead and take on Blaine, who is one of the most upgraded trainers in Pokemon Yellow. This guy is a beast. He leads off with a Ninetales. I go ahead and use a couple of minimizes, and it does outspeed me, but after 3 minimizes, my speed is boosted enough to where I can actually outspeed. Although it does hit me with Flamethrower, and then the Rapidash hits me with Fire Spin and Stomp. And if you're wondering, no, Stomp does not skip accuracy checks when the opponent used Minimize. I don't think that was a thing till Gen 2. So yeah, he just got really lucky with that run. So that was my first reset. On the second attempt, I make it all the way to his Arcanine, but I lose to a takedown. Plus, another thing that makes Blaine harder is he lost his good AI from red and blue and got random AI. Plus, he no longer uses turn 1 super potions at full health. Honestly, him having random AI is actually good, because it's not going to heavily restrict his moveset. Like for example, if I was using a poison type, the Arcanine would spam Reflect in red and blue. Although funnily enough, he actually used quite a few Reflects on Clefairy. Not like that's going to do anything, I'm using special moves here. And because of that, third try is the charm, and I am able to defeat Blaine. Alright, so yeah, we pretty much fought all the gym leaders in order, but Blaine definitely broke that streak. So now we can go to Saffron City, get the TM for Mimic, and then go ahead and take on Sabrina. The advantage of doing Sabrina after Blaine is you get a 12.5% boost to your special from Blaine's badge, and it can make this fight easier. Although the Abra does outspeed, in turn 1 it actually did hit me with a flash, so I have 3 minimizes but also 1 flash put on me. But fortunately, Clefairy is actually kind of a champ. It only missed a couple of body slams, but with the minimizes, the Alakazam really isn't able to hit me with Psywave, and I can go ahead and defeat Sabrina for my 7th badge. And now with 7 badges, there's only one more badge we need to get. We need to go fight Giovanni, aka the Guard Spec Man. He is definitely a lot better compared to his red and blue team, but depending on the Pokemon, he is still easy. And hopefully this is one of those easy runs. Giovanni leads off with his Dugtrio. It does outspeed, so it could go for Fissure, but it just went for Earthquake fortunately, and I'm able to get off 2 minimizes. Then on the Persian, I should have set up more minimizes, but it actually set up its own double team, and then it just defeated me with Slash. On the next attempt though, I do realize this, and I get +5 evasion on the Persian. Then Psychic can one-shot the Nidoqueen and the Nidoking due to the badge boost. Fortunately, I don't level up for the Rhydon, but it still actually survived a Psychic. Good for him. And looking at my blackouts and resets so far, all of the blackouts were on the Junior Trainer, and all of the resets were on Blaine. And the blackouts on the Light Years Junior Trainer were actually needed. The 3 resets to Blaine was just because of bad luck. But now with all 8 of our badges, we need to go take on Rival 6. He leads off with Sandslash. Fortunately, it does not have Earthquake yet, but he does have Swift, which can ignore my minimizes. But fortunately, I get to +4, and I 2-shot it with Body Slam. Then the Exeggutor's a 1-shot, the Cloyster's a 1-shot with Thunderbolt, the Magneton is a 2-shot with Psychic, and then on the Kadabra, it's a 1-shot with Body Slam. I level up to 62. Fortunately, even though I lost my badge boosts, I still outspeed the Flareon, and I'm able to defeat it in 2 uses of Body Slam. But here's the thing, even after beating that rival fight, I still lost to the final boss of this game. This ledge. I really hate this ledge. Plus, as we go through Victory Road, I could theoretically get another rare candy or do some more trainers, but I'm level 62 already because of the fast experience group. And yeah, the final rare candy isn't needed. I haven't used rare candies yet in this run. I'm saving those for the league. So when I finish going through Victory Road, I arrive at the Indigo Plateau. I heal at the center by some full restores, and now we need to go take on the final 5 trainers. Let's do this shit. Lorelei leads off with Dewgong. I now have Mimic in the place of Body Slam. My plan is to try and set up some minimizes on the Dewgong, and then go ahead and defeat the Dewgong and the Cloyster with Thunderbolt. Plus, once I get to the Slowbro, I can Mimic Amnesia, set up 3 times with it, and then defeat the rest of her team with Thunderbolt. However though, on this first attempt, I get to the Slowbro at red health. It just kept going for Amnesia and Withdraw, and then by the time it finally used an attacking move, it just missed. So yeah, I ended up defeating Lorelei in red bar. That was really cutting it close. Next up is the Fighting type Elite Four member, the Hiker. The hiker leads off with Onyx. I go ahead and use 2 minimizes, and then I can one-shot the Onyx with Psychic, the Hitmonchan, the Hitmonlee, the second Onyx, and then the Machamp usually likes surviving hits. And today is not one of those days. Next up is the Ghost-type Elite Four member, Agatha. She leads off with her Gengar. I go ahead and just use Psychic for the 2-shot. I do get a special drop on it, but it's not like it would have mattered. And then on the Golbat, I try to use Thunderbolt, but I get hit with Supersonic and I hit myself in confusion. And then the Haunter's a 2-shot with Psychic. And then on the Arbok, I go ahead and set up just 1 minimize. And then I go ahead and one-shot it. And then the Gengar actually hits me with Hypnosis, but fortunately it missed Dream Eater, but it is able to hit the second Dream Eater. And then when I wake up, I hit myself in confusion twice, and fortunately, the 1 minimize comes through for me, I don't get hit anymore, and then Psychic is able to defeat the Gengar. Next up is the Dragon-type Elite Four member, Lance. Lance leads off with his Gyarados. I go ahead and use 2 minimizes, and then I go ahead and use Thunderbolt for the 1-shot. Then on the Dragonair, I 2-shot it with Psychic, although it did hit me with Hyper Beam, not doing too much. Then on the Dragonair, I go ahead and mimic Ice Beam, and then I can defeat that Dragonair, the Aerodactyl, and the Dragonite. And then before the champion, I go ahead and teach Rest over Mimic, and then we can go take on the champion. The champion leads off with Sandslash. I'm going to go ahead and set up 5 minimizes. Oh wait, no, 6 minimizes. And then I can go ahead and use Psychic to 2-shot it. It's fine though, I have to defeat the Alakazam with Thunderbolt anyway for the 2-shot. Then on the Exeggutor, it was at this moment I realized I forgot to teach Ice Beam. And because of that, I'm going to have to slowly chip it down with Thunderbolt. If the champion ever gets in red health, there's a 12.5% chance he uses a full restore, but fortunately it did not happen. And then on the Magneton, I have to go ahead and knock it out using 4 Psychics, but I don't even live long enough to see that happen. The Magneton just destroys me with Thunderbolt. I kinda deserve that, honestly. On the second attempt, I go ahead and have Ice Beam, now in the place of Psychic, and now as soon as I get to the Exeggutor, it is going to be a 2-shot with Ice Beam, but the first Ice Beam left it on a sliver of health. And then the Magneton is defeated, the Cloyster is a 1-shot, I level up to level 69, nice, and it just used 1 Reflect, 2 Reflects, 3 Reflects, okay that was just bad. And now with Flareon defeated, I clock in with a real time of 55 minutes and 22 seconds, with 4 resets and 4 blackouts at level 69, with a game time in the Hall of Fame of 3 hours and 30 minutes. So yeah, honestly, I feel like I played this run a little too safe. I picked up a lot of rare candies and I hardly used any of them. I never used any candies in the league either. So yeah, honestly, I feel like I could have skipped most of the rare candies in this run, but honestly, I still feel like I played really good. Plus, if we take a look at the leaderboard, Clefairy gets 10th place overall, barely in the top 10, and this is out of 18 different Pokemon. It got a faster time than Jinx and Alakazam, but it did worse than Seadra and Hitmonlee. And if you're wondering why Alakazam is so low, it doesn't get Confusion until level 16 in Yellow, so you have to do a lot of struggle training in the forest. Plus, I think the reason it did better than Jinx is because Jinx had to train until level 18 to get Lick for Brock. So yeah, it also had a very rough early game, but once it got access to some special moves, it literally became unstoppable. But anyway, this was still a nice run, and I hope you all enjoyed. Please like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more, and be sure to follow me on my socials or support me through YouTube memberships. YouTube members get access to these videos early and the patch files for the backports we've done on stream. Plus, since we did Clefairy today, on Friday we're going to be doing the game live with Jigglypuff. But before that, we'll do Yellow with some random Pokemon. Anyway, I hope to see you there, and I'll see you all in the next video.